Dormitory desolation. The first day at St Andrews University brought with it a mix of excitement and nervousness. My dormitory, nestled on the outskirts of the campus, seemed like the perfect haven for a fresh start. Little did I know that my college experience would soon be overshadowed by the chilling events that unfolded within the cold, grey walls of room 213. As the sun dipped below the horizon on that first evening, casting long shadows across the campus, I began settling into the dormitory. Room 213, situated at the end of a dimly lit hallway, had an eerie quietness about it. The air felt stale, as if it hadn't been disturbed in years. I unpacked my belongings. The creaking of the old bed and the distant hum of the campus nightlife, providing a backdrop to my thoughts. The previous occupants' names were still etched on the door, a fading reminder that others had once called this room home. A peculiar unease settled in the pit of my stomach. That night, as I lay in bed, a soft tapping echoed through the room. I dismissed it as the sound of the old building settling. But the tapping persisted, rhythmic and deliberate. It seemed to emanate from the walls themselves, as if the room had a secret heartbeat. Sleep eluded me. As the tapping transformed into a series of whispered voices, they spoke in hushed tones, unintelligible but laden with an otherworldly weight. I chalked it up to the stress of the first day, convincing myself that the unfamiliar environment was playing tricks on my mind. The following nights, however, intensified the strange occurrences. Shadows danced in the corners, taking on unsettling shapes that seemed to move independently. The temperature in the room fluctuated wildly, from an icy cold that seeped into my bones to a stifling heat that left me drenched in sweat. Objects shifted on their own accord, a textbook sliding off the desk, a chair rocking back and forth. I rationalized each event, attributing them to the quirks of an old building, but deep down, a primal instinct screamed that something was amiss. One evening, as I prepared for bed, I caught a glimpse of a figure in the corner of my eye. A shadowy silhouette stood by the window, its presence suffusing the room with an oppressive energy. I turned to face it, but the figure vanished like smoke, leaving only the echoes of its unsettling aura. The room seemed to breathe with a life of its own, and I began to unravel. Sleep deprivation blurred the line between reality and nightmare. Faces appeared in the darkness pale, distorted visages that whispered unheard secrets. I saw them in the mirrors, their eyes hollow and pleading. Desperation set in, and I sought refuge in the university's archives as I delved into the history of room 213. A grim truth emerged. Decades ago, a student had mysteriously disappeared, leaving behind only whispers of strange occurrences in that very room. The university, eager to bury the unsettling rumors, dismissed the incident as a mere urban legend. Determined to uncover the truth, I contacted the previous occupants of room 213, only to find a common thread of fear and inexplicable occurrences. The room, it seemed, held a dark secret, a malevolent force that preyed on the living. One night, as I lay paralyzed in fear, the whispers reached a crescendo. The room pulsated with an otherworldly energy, and the air crackled with unseen forces. I felt a cold hand brush against my skin, and a voice, laden with sorrow, spoke a single word: leave. In a frenzied panic, I packed my belongings and fled room 213. The moment I stepped into the hallway, the oppressive energy lifted, and the whispers faded into distant echoes. The door slammed shut behind me, sealing the room and its haunted secrets. I moved to a different dormitory, the weight of room 213's malevolence still clinging to my memory. St. Andrew's University, with its storied history, concealed a darkness that lurked within the very fabric of its dormitories. The whispers of the past, trapped within the walls, served as a chilling reminder that some spaces bear witness to secrets that defy explanation. Whispers in the dormitory. The dormitory, a towering structure of concrete and steel, loomed over the campus like a monolith of institutionalized learning. It was my first year at the university, and I had eagerly moved into the dorms, excited about the prospect of newfound freedom. Little did I know that the echoing corridors and dimly lit hallways harbored a sinister secret. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the campus, the atmosphere within the dormitory transformed. The once lively common areas became eerily quiet, and the flickering fluorescent lights bathed the hallways in a sickly glow. The air seemed to thicken, carrying with it a subtle unease that I initially dismissed as the byproduct of adjusting to my new surroundings. One night, as I lay in my narrow bed, I heard the first whispers, soft, indistinct voices that seemed to emanate from the very walls. At first, I thought it was the muffled conversations of neighboring students, but as I strained to listen, the whispers took on a spectral quality. They spoke of forgotten secrets and unseen spectres, of a darkness that lingered in the shadows of the dormitory. As the days passed, the whispers grew louder, a dissonant symphony that echoed through the labyrinthine corridors. Sleep became elusive, my nights haunted by the spectral voices that seemed to invade the very recesses of my mind. Desperate for answers, I confided in my fellow students, but they dismissed my concerns with nervous laughter. One evening, as I ventured into the deserted common room, the whispers reached a fevered pitch. The air pulsed with a malevolent energy, and the walls seemed to close in around me. The flickering lights cast distorted shadows that danced to the haunting rhythm of the spectral voices. I followed the whispers to the basement, where an ancient door stood ajar, revealing a passage into the unknown. The basement, a forgotten realm beneath the dormitory, seemed to defy the laws of time. Dust-covered furniture and relics from eras long past lay scattered in the dim light. The whispers guided me deeper into the subterranean maze, leading me to a room obscured by darkness. As I stepped inside, a cold wind swept through the room, extinguishing the flickering candle flames that lined the walls. The whispers converged into a single voice, a spectral figure materializing before me. Its eyes gleamed with an otherworldly luminescence, and its voice echoed the anguish of a tormented soul. "I have been waiting," it intoned, a chorus of voices intertwining with its words. The figure revealed the tragic tale of a student who had vanished decades ago, swallowed by the malevolent forces that lurked within the dormitory. The whispers spoke of a forbidden ritual conducted by a secret society, an attempt to unlock the mysteries of the supernatural. As the spectral figure faded into the shadows, the room plunged into darkness. The whispers reached a deafening crescendo, and the walls seemed to close in with an oppressive force. Panic seized me as I stumbled back into the basement, the passage back to the dormitory seemingly lost in the spectral haze. I emerged into the dormitory, disoriented and trembling. The whispers persisted, now mingling with the anguished cries of the tormented spirit. The once familiar hallways had transformed into a nightmarish labyrinth, each door a portal to a realm of spectral horrors. Driven by a desperate need to escape, I raced through the haunted dormitory, the whispers pursuing me like malevolent shadows. The flickering lights cast distorted visions, and the air resonated with the echoes of a tragic history that clung to the very fabric of the dormitory. As dawn broke, I stumbled out of the dormitory, my mind haunted by the spectral whispers that lingered in the air. The once familiar structure now stood as a foreboding edifice, its haunted corridors a testament to the malevolent forces that lurked within. The whispers would forever echo in my nightmares, a chilling reminder that some dormitories held secrets far darker than the academic pursuits they housed. The forgotten roommate. The dormitory loomed like a monolith, its towering structure casting long shadows across the deserted courtyard. As a freshman, I had eagerly anticipated the independence that dorm life promised, but as the days unfolded, an oppressive atmosphere settled over room 213, my assigned abode. It wasn't just the creaky floors or flickering lights. It was something more insidious, something that whispered through the cracks in the walls. My roommate, Mark, had been absent since the beginning of the semester. The university claimed he had transferred to another college, but rumors circulated among the students that his departure was more mysterious. Some said he had vanished without a trace, leaving behind an empty bed and unanswered questions. The moment I stepped into room 213, an uneasy feeling crawled up my spine. The air seemed to vibrate with an energy that didn't align with the mundane surroundings. Ignoring the disquiet, I unpacked my belongings, trying to shake off the unsettling sense that I was not alone. As night fell, the room transformed. The dim glow of the streetlights outside cast long, contorted shadows that seemed to dance along the walls. A cold breeze whispered through the slightly ajar window, carrying with it an otherworldly chill. I tried to shake off the unease, attributing it to the stress of adjusting to a new environment. The first sign of the dorm's malevolence occurred. During a restless night, a soft tapping echoed through the room, a rhythmic beat that mirrored the cadence of my heartbeat. I scanned the darkness for the source, my eyes drawn to the empty bed across the room. The sheets rustled, as if an invisible presence had settled into Mark's vacant space. A sense of dread settled over me, amplified by the distant whispers that seemed to emanate from the walls. The words were indistinct, a spectral murmur that hinted at a forgotten tragedy, as I strained to decipher the voices. A flicker of movement caught my eye, the reflection of a figure in the dusty mirror. I turned to face the empty bed, my heart pounding in my chest. The apparition materialized before me, the silhouette of Mark standing with hollow eyes fixed upon mine. The room seemed to pulse with a dark energy. As Mark's ghostly form reached out, the temperature dropping to an icy chill. Paralyzed with fear, I watched as Mark's ghost traced cryptic symbols in the air. The whispers grew louder, forming words that etched themselves into the very fabric of the room. The air became charged with a malevolent force, and I could feel an unseen presence closing in. Desperation compelled me to flee, but the door refused to budge. The room had become a prison. And Mark's ghostly figure drew closer, its outstretched hand brushing against my skin like an ethereal caress. The whispers reached a deafening crescendo, a chorus of tormented souls seeking solace in the living realm. In a final act of defiance, I tore my gaze away from the spectral figure and uttered a plea for release. The room convulsed with a supernatural energy, and the door swung open with a deafening creak. I stumbled into the corridor, gasping for breath as the door slammed shut behind me. The dormitory, once a symbol of newfound freedom, became a haunted labyrinth where the boundaries between the living and the dead blurred. Room 213, a forsaken chamber of forgotten souls, served as a chilling reminder that some mysteries are better left undisturbed. As I fled the dormitory, I could still hear the echoes of Mark's whispers, a haunting refrain that lingered in the air like an unresolved melody.